and share my screen. So as you know, today it isn't possible to privatize channels in Teams directly from the Teams interface. What I mean by privatizing channels is that not all the team members are able to access a specific channel. Microsoft should release this feature quite soon, supposedly by the end of this month, but let's see what happens. In the meantime, I am going to show you how to do it through SharePoint. This can be quite confusing, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate to interrupt me. And this is basically the same as the rights management in SharePoint. So if you're already familiar with this, it should be quite easy for you. So let's go to my Teams. And for today's example, I want to privatize. I have my team test name, this one, and I want to privatize the channel private. In my channel private, I have these files and I only want them to be accessible by a few people. So let's go into SharePoint. Up here, opening SharePoint. And you will see that I have my private channel with both files. And if I click in Documents, I see all my channels, general, private, and test, same as in here. So for this exercise, I'm going to privatize the private channel. And to do so, first we need to go into the home site of our SharePoint. To do so, you go into Home. And this is the home site that hides behind our Teams. And you go into, this is only the owners will be able to do this, keep this in mind. And we go into these settings, site permissions, and advanced permission settings right down here. Here you can see that my SharePoint site has 3 permission groups: owners, members, and visitors. So the owners are my team owners, and the members are my team members and my team guests of the teams, not the visitors. If we go back to the teams, which is here, if I see my channel, my team, sorry, manage the team. 1 second. I see that I am the owner, Florence and Claire are members, and Leah has the guest status because she doesn't have a ClubMed address. For this case, the 3 of them are the SharePoint members, are in this group, and me, I am the owner. You don't get any visitors here unless you add them. So for privatizing this channel, I am going to create a new group of special people who will be able to access the private channel. So I go into create group and I give a name to the group, let's say private group. And if I go down, here is where I can manage the level rights. So for this private group, I am going to give them, this is the permissions, right, at the SharePoint level, not at the folder level. So at the SharePoint level, I just want them to give edit permissions. And I click on create. So here I can say that I can see that my private group only has me as an owner, and I want to add more people to this private group. So I want to add Florence and Claire. If I find her. Here she is. So, and here in show options, I don't want them to send an invitation because it can be confusing. Otherwise, if you don't untick this, they will receive an email notifying them that they have been granted access to a SharePoint site. So I click on share. So now Claire, me, and Florence are members of the private group. This private group will be the group that will be the special group that will have access to the private channel that I showed you before. So to go back to the private channel, you go into documents here. That is the document library of your teams. I am going to manage the access rights to my private folder. So you select the folder and you click the three little dots, details, and here you have the access. So we go into manage access and we go into advanced. It's quite hidden right below. In advanced, I can see that my folder permissions are the same as the site permissions. I have the private group, that is the one that I just created. I have the owners, the members, and the guests. It's the same thing. This means that the folder is inheriting the permissions of the whole SharePoint site, which is the parent. Here you can see this folder inherits permissions from its parent test name, that is the name of the SharePoint site. Since I want to have special permissions for this channel, I am going to stop inheriting permissions. I want to set up individual permissions for this specific folder. So I click on here, stop inheriting permissions. This is just a warning. I say, okay, yes, I'm sure. And now I have stopped inheriting the permissions of the site and I can start to manage it individually. So for this one, I want to delete the visitors. So to delete the visitors, I click on remove user permissions. Okay. I want still the members to access it. It's okay, but they don't have the right to edit the files. So I want to modify the permission levels. To do so, I just tick on it and I click on edit user permissions. And here you can see the different type of permissions. I am going to give them just read. This means that they can only read the files in my private channel. And I click on OK. We have the owner of the teams. Let's delete it. It doesn't make any sense because the owner is already in the private group. So we can remove just by clicking here. Okay. And for the private group, which is the group that I created initially, that is composed by Florence, Claire, and me, I will also modify the permission levels. So you select the group, edit user permissions, and I'm going to give full control to this person at the folder level, not at the site level, but only at the folder level. And I click OK. So as you can see, this folder has unique permissions, and now the group members, the team members, for example, Leah, she's a team member, she will only be able to read the files, don't modify them, and then the private group has full control over the file. Here you can play however you want. You can create just a new team, a special group just to see, no touch. You can really play however you want. But keep in mind that even if you modify the rights at the folder level, which is the channel, the persons will still be able to see the conversation. So if in your conversation tab, let me go back to the team that is here, they will still be able to click on private. They will still be able to see the conversations if you have any conversations here. And if they have read access, they can click on them, and then they will have a sign saying you can't modify in this file. And if they don't have access at all, they will just get a sign here saying that they don't have access to these files. As you can see, this isn't the easiest thing to do. And if you start to do it to a lot of channels, it could be quite complicated. So we only recommended you to do it for like extreme scenarios, or otherwise, let's just wait for this new feature to be released that should be coming out soon, but we don't know if Microsoft will keep their word. Anyone has any questions? Going to check here in case anyone has questions. Okay, so if it's clear for everyone, let's just finish this Discord feature for today, and I will post it in our Teams as usual. And thank you for joining. Today we only had 4 angels. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.